According to Ajay Srivastav, founder of the Global Trade Research Initiative, the US is pressuring India with trade demands that primarily serve American interests. He believes India should withdraw from current negotiations and prepare to deal with a potential Trump administration in a similar way to countries like China and Canada. Srivastav asserts that Donald Trump and his officials have used incorrect data to criticize India, and he finds India's silence on these mispresentations baffling. The report also suggests that a zero-for-zero approach should be considered, where India would only lower tariffs on over 90% of industrial goods if the US does the same. It warns against lowering tariffs on agricultural products, citing the collapse of Australia's domestic car industry after it reduced import tariffs. The report states that retaliatory tariffs from the US would have minimal impact on India's agriculture and automotive exports. For example, Trump claimed that the US trade deficit with India is $100 billion, whereas India's official data places it under $45 billion, he added. Srivastava also counters the tariff king label, noting that while India has high tariffs on certain luxury items, the US imposes high tariffs on products like tobacco. Similarly, the White House fact sheet inaccurately stated that India imposes a 100% tariff on Harley-Davidson motorcycles, when the actual tariff was reduced from 50% to 30% on February 1st. It is painful despite repeated provocations from the US, Indian government or any industry associations has not countered such misinformation. India's measured approach may be a calculated strategy to avoid escalating tensions, but a more proactive public rebuttal of misinformation could strengthen its negotiating positions and protect its national interest. This is especially critical when dealing with a leader like Donald Trump, whose negotiation strategy often relies on public bluffing and the dissemination of false information to create leverage and shape the narrative. His use of incorrect data and truthful hyperbole is a tactic designed to disorient opponents and rally public support, making it essential for India to counter these claims with clear and accurate facts.
President, just to follow up on the India tariffs, do you expect increased trade negotiations, since you've announced the 50% tariff?
No, not until we get it.
Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov accused European leaders of prolonging the war in Ukraine, insisting that the continent does not want peace. As the ongoing Russian-Ukraine war continues to escalate, Russia accused European leaders of prolonging the conflict and not wanting peace in Ukraine. The remarks came from Russian Foreign Ministry Sergey Lavrov on Sunday. Lavrov's comments on the matter came after the US Vice President J.D. Vance said that the US would keep on trying to broker talks between the two nations. Lavrov denied that his country had bombed civilian targets in Ukraine. He went on to say that Trump had set himself above European leaders who accompanied Ukraine's President Zelenskyy for talks at the White House last week after the POTUS summit with Russian President Putin. Zelenskyy on Sunday insisted that a meeting with the Russian counterpart continues to remain the most effective way forward as the two sides exchanged prisoners and the country celebrated Independence Day. The remarks came at a time when Ukrainian generals said that the country's troops had recaptured 3 villages in the Donetsk region that had fallen under Russian control. Ukraine also launched a drone strikes on Russia, triggering a fire at a nuclear power plant. Lavrov's comments are more about narrative warfare than actual peace efforts. While Europe is determined to support Ukraine, the longer the conflict drags on, the more pressure there will be for some kind of settlement. The big challenge is finding a formula that respects Ukraine's sovereignty without simply rewarding aggression. India on Sunday informed Pakistan about the flood situation in the Tawi River via its Indian High Commission to the Pakistan Foreign Ministry. This is the first time India has used this mechanism to alert Pakistan about the flood situation via the High Commission. This was not done through the Indus Waters Treaty, which remains in abeyance. The Indus Waters Treaty has been abeyance after the Pahalgam terror attack. Ideally, under the Indus Waters Treaty, information is shared through the Indus Water Commissioner. India and Pakistan in 1960 made a formal agreement called the Indus Waters Treaty to decide how water would be shared between both countries from the Indus River. The need for a treaty for water sharing arose after independence, when control over the river became a point of potential conflict between the two nations. Pakistan went to the United Nations and the UN brought in the World Bank to mediate. After almost 9 years of negotiation, India's then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and Pakistan then Prime Minister Ayub Khan finally signed the agreement in 1960 after the terror attack on April 22 in Baisaran Valley of Jammu Kashmir's Pahalgam district that killed 26 tourists. India put into abeyance the Indus Waters Treaty. Pakistani leaders have issued war threats to India over this decision. India did the right thing by alerting Pakistan, but the bigger tragedy is that an agreement like the Indus Waters Treaty, once a rare symbol of cooperation, is now a casualty of terrorism and mistrust. Both countries need to find a way to compartmentalize humanitarian and climate-related issues from political disputes, because floods and disasters don't respect borders. Union Home Minister Amit Shah raised questions over the moral stance of Congress MP and leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, asking whether it has shifted after losing 3 consecutive elections. Shah referred to the incident in 2013 when the Lok Sabha LOP Rahul Gandhi had torn an ordinance brought by then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh to revive Lalu Prasad Yadav, contrasting it with his current resistance to the proposed bill to remove the Prime Minister, Chief Minister and Cabinet Minister jailed for more than 30 days. In an exclusive interview with ANI, Amit Shah inquired, why did Rahul ji tear the ordinance that Manmohan Singh brought to protect Lalu ji? If there was morality that day, then what happened now? Just because you have lost 3 consecutive elections, morality's standards are not connected with victory or loss in elections. They should be steady like the sun and the moon. Shah added that the India bloc is against the bill because they want to run the government from jail. The Constitution Bill 2025 seeks the removal of any Prime Minister, Chief Minister or any minister who is detained for 30 consecutive days on charges punishable with at least 5 years of imprisonment. If the arrested leader does not resign, the office will automatically fall vacant after 31st day. The bill allows for reappointment post-release, providing a degree of flexibility. Reggie Carroll, a popular Baltimore comedian known as the Knockout King of Comedy, was shot dead in Mississippi. He was 52 years old. Law enforcement officials shared that the shooting took place in South Haven last week. Police arrived on the scene after getting a call about a shooting, and Reggie was found suffering from a gunshot wound. Despite attempts by the police and first responders to revive him, Reggie succumbed to his wounds. He was close friends with Academy Award-winning actress and comedian Monique. The two collaborated several times and started their comedy careers at the same time. The actress took to Instagram to pay tribute to her late friend, writing, "This is why I say treat people the best you can, because you never know if you'll get a chance to see them again. And the last time me and my brother Reggie girl was together." Cheteshwar Pujara bids adieu to international cricket, rather all formats of it, on Sunday, August 24. And this game and its countless fans shall be indebted to him for his contribution to it. He was one of a kind, perhaps the last of his kind, and Team India was blessed to have him as its batting mainstay. Mainly in Test for 14 years, cricket, like life, has always had someone to replace someone, like it did in Sachin Tendulkar's case. It brought in Virat Kohli, and this modern day great did do justice to it. However, finding Pujara's replacement, let alone for Indian cricket, could take a long time, perhaps never. The rupee appreciated 18 paise to 87.34 against the US dollar in early trade on Monday, supported by positive domestic equities, even as external risk remain elevated for its traders, said the near-term direction of the rupee will depend on 2 key events: the implementation of the August 27 tariff and upcoming US economic data ahead of Federal Reserve's September 17 meeting. At the interbank foreign exchange, the rupee opened at 87.38, then touched an early early high of 87.34, registering a gain of 18 paise over its previous close. Meanwhile, Republican leader Nikki Haley has said that India should take President Donald Trump's concerns over its procurement of Russian crude oil seriously and work with the White House to find a solution to the issue. The Trump administration has been severely critical of India for its procurement of discounted crude oil from Russia. Interestingly, Washington has not been criticizing China, the largest importer of Russian crude oil. Defending its purchase of Russian crude oil, India has been maintaining that its energy procurement is driven by national interest and market dynamics. Harvard scientist Avi Loeb earnestly hopes that the interstellar alien object in the solar system turns out to be a spacecraft sent by extraterrestrial beings. This comes after his very open assertion, backed by evidence, that it is not a natural space rock or comet. He has said that almost everything about 3I Atlas points to it being an object designed by someone. Its trajectory, the light it released, and the lack of a tail are signs that it is not a naturally occurring cosmic body. Meanwhile, everyone else is refuting his claims, saying it is impossible that 3I Atlas is an alien spacecraft. But Loeb stands steadfast on its observations. In fact, he actually wishes that the interstellar object were an alien probe coming for Earth. Security forces have launched a search operation after around half a dozen drones from Pakistan were sighted hovering over several forward areas along the line of control in Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir, officials said on Monday. They said the drones believed to be launched for surveillance were seen flying very high and returned to the Pakistani side within 5 minutes. However, the area was cordoned off and a search was launched with the first light of the day in several areas where the movement of the drones was picked up to ensure that there was no airdropping of weapons or narcotics. The officials said the use of drones by Pakistan to drop weapons and narcotics has emerged as a major challenge for the security agencies over the past couple of years, and accordingly, police have announced a reward of rupees 3 lakh to anyone providing information about sighting of a drone, leading to the recovery of the dropped material in February last year. Over 1 lakh workers in United Kingdom have transitioned to a full-time 4-day work week since the pandemic, highlighting a major shift in the evolving work landscape sparked by COVID. A new analysis reveals about 1.4 million people reported working full-time for 4 days in a week between October and December 2024, an increase of over 1 lakh compared to the same period in 2019 when 1.29 million followed this work schedule. According to data from the Office for National Statistics, campaigners and some economists say that a 4-day week offers advantages like improved mental health and more personal time for relaxation to workers, and also benefits businesses by boosting employee motivation and aiding in hire and retention. Moreover, an additional 1 lakh employees said that they worked a part-time 4-day week between October and December 2024. The 4-day week foundation, which campaigns for more businesses to take up shorter working weeks with no loss of pay for staff, has reported that more than 420 companies having more than 12,000 employees have adopted a 4-day week since the pandemic. A fresh spell of rain lashed Delhi NCR on Monday morning, accompanied by cloudy skies. In response, the India Meteorological Department has issued a yellow alert for the day, warning of light showers and thunderstorms across Delhi. The IMD also warned of disruption in traffic movement in the national capital as intermittent rainfall is likely to continue throughout the day. As per the Regional Meteorological Center in New Delhi, several areas of Delhi and nearby regions are likely to experience light to moderate rainfall with thunderstorms and lightning. The region includes Gurugram, Greater Noida, Faridabad, Manesar, Ballabgarh and Bahadurgarh, along with several towns in Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh. At Ramayan Club, we believe your spiritual journey should be as meaningful as the destination themselves. For over 10 years, we have been connecting devotees with India's most sacred places, including Ayodhya, Kashi, Mathura, Chitrakoot, and Prayagraj. Our expert guides, inspired by the Ramayana and other ancient texts, ensure an authentic and deeply fulfilling experience. We have successfully guided over 15,000 happy devotees on more than 500 pilgrimages to over 120 destinations, making your journey comfortable, affordable, and rich with spiritual essence. With our fast, reliable, and affordable rides, your only focus is your devotion. Let Ramayan Club make your pilgrimage a cherished memory. For more information, please visit our website.